That's for sure. But those Hammerlin receivers really pick the audio out. Anyway, we're running the Flex 3000 this morning. We're running about 3K wide each side, and got that piped over into the Commander amplifier. So somewhere about legal limit. So it's back via the Servant Max Center, the Johnson. So with that, we'll see if Barry's back in there. Give me a play on that. KD4UMU.
KD4UMU in the group here, W3MM1. I'm back, fresh cup of mud, and ready to go. Finally, fall has arrived here in the Northeast. 46 degrees here at the QTH this morning. 62 in the shack. A little chilly in here this morning. But hopefully this AL80B will get it warmed up in here a little bit. And I got the NC303, the DX100 fired up on the other side of the room as well. Just on the Anon this morning. And hopefully we can get things warmed up in here fairly quickly. Everybody's sounding real good this morning. Dan, you're about 15 over here on the Anon this morning, so real good signal. I was literally just opening up the software here when you were getting things turned on, when you were transmitting with 9 watts, and I could just about hear you. So it was making a trip, that's for sure. So the Flex 3000 sounding good this morning, and good morning to you, Pop. The 101 is sounding good as always, and looks like I'm coming in okay in the QIX Web SDR. So the band isn't super long this morning. Past couple weeks at this time, trying to receive anybody on this, trying to receive you on this Web SDR was impossible. So doesn't look like the band's too super long this morning, which is good. So maybe we might be have decent conditions here for the net this morning. But anyway, over to you, Pop. W2SDR in the group, W3MMR.
Okay, W2SDR, just muting the web SDR here. And yeah, I'm coming in pretty good on that web SDR. Perry, you were Q5. I can hear you a little bit direct. And I can hear you either way, Dan, here. Steve is up in, where is Steve? New Hampshire? And either there or direct. Both. You're running about 15 over or so here on my Hammerlin. The 150 is very similar to the 160. I think I'd have to look at the schematic again for the 150. The 160 is general coverage. It's got double conversion, though, above on the top 3 bands. So I'm not sure if the 150 is double conversion or not. I don't remember. I have a 140X also, so I have a 140X in this 160. And I had a 160, was my first receiver when I first got my license back in the mid-60s. It was a great receiver to have as your first receiver, I'll tell you. I was very lucky. My dad had bought it for me used for $125 back in 1965, I believe. So back then, they made this thing, I think, only for 2 years, the 160, 1958 to 1960. Then they came out with the 180 for the general coverage receiver, and the 170 for the amateur band receiver, ham band only receiver. Then they had the 170A and the 180A. You know, those 170As and 180As, they had a circuit in there that kept half the tubes on all the time. So the thing wouldn't drift when you went to use it. But the tubes were on. It really cut down on the tube life. Having those receivers, those tubes on 24 hours a day. A lot of guys unplugged them when they weren't using them, so the tubes wouldn't stay on all the time. I remember televisions were like that too. The last few models of tube TVs, so they'd be instant on and compete with the solid state ones. So they leave the filaments of the tubes on all the time. That's how they did it. Back to you, Dan. Getting close to net time, I guess, here. KD4 UMU in the group, W2SDR.
K4FNY. All right. There's Mr. Charlie in there. K4FNY. Nice signal over here, Charlie, to Shepherdsville, Kentucky this morning. And, yeah, you know, everybody wanted that instant on stuff. And I think the only amplifier that they have out there right now that is considered instant on is the Ameritron 811, you know, that 811A tube amplifiers, the AL811 or AL811 Hotel. And, you know, even though you can just load it up and reach over and just shut the filaments off. And when you want to fire it up, just hit the button, you're ready to go, just like turning on a light bulb. You know, they fired it pretty quick. But the downside is that tube, if you overdrive it much, boy, it will go south on you. And I've run through several sets of 811A tubes in my hotel amplifier. And of course, you know, when the plate sags down on the grid, you know, it rolls that resistor down into the bottom, and sounds like somebody shooting a pistol inside your amplifier when it goes off, you know. So you had no trouble figuring out which tube went south on you. Just look for the exploded resistor down there. So, but hey, you could run it as a 3-tuber with reduced output. Anyway, good morning to you there, Charlie. Nice big old signal over here. We're running 54 degrees here in north central Kentucky. So I don't qualify what not, but I'm still correcting and off the frost up here. So I'm just going to do that until it finally gets down into frost over here. So these 3 tomato plants I put out this year are about 6 foot tall. So these things are just growing wild. I'd been trimming them back earlier on, but decided I was just going to let them grow wild now, and they're still producing pretty good. Anyway, K4FNY, good morning to you. KD4 UMU, and you'll send it up to Perry when you get done there, Charlie.
W3PWW.
Good morning, this is K4FNY. Okay, Dan, fine business on those tomatoes. I sure do envy you that. I wish I didn't plant any this year. My son has got some growing, and they're mighty good. Speaking of tubes, I'm running a new one in the BC610. My 250pH filaments opened up in it, so I had to put a new one in. So it seems to be running a lot better too. That seems to get away from running. Let me turn it up to Ted. I know that he wants to start the net here pretty soon. It's 3 minutes till net time. It's 74 degrees here. And Ted, go ahead. W3PWW, K4FNY.
Okay, Charlie, K4FNY, W3PWW. Okay, copy you. Okay, copy Dan. I hear Frank and Perry in there, but they're not very strong here. They're not very same level as the static this morning. On the T368 and the R390A again. Okay, on changing the tube in your 610. I guess the one I have in mind is going to crap out one of these days also. That plate in there is so thin you can see the filament shining through it. So, but I keep on using it. I only have one spare, so when that one finally goes up, it's going to be hard to find another one, I imagine. I do have one spare that works, so that's one good thing. If it lasts as long as this tube did, I'll be happy. Okay, so copying Dan Code, copying you, Charlie, Perry, and Frank. They were not too strong in here this morning. I guess, okay, I'm going to go ahead and start the net. Calling you on military radio net. Calling you on military radio net. Calling you on military radio net. This net meets every Saturday morning at 0500 hours on or about 3885. This morning we're on with the T368C and receiving with the R390A. You don't have to have military equipment to check in, just an interest in that subject. Net control this morning, W3PWW, located near Hanover, PA. We got 4 stations in here so far: KD4UMU, W2SDR, W2MMR, and K4FNY. Anyone else out there for the net, please call now.
NAULN.
W2SDR.
Copy N8ULN. Anyone else, over?
This is KD3HT.
Okay, KD3HT. Anyone else, over?
W2SDR.
BIA.
Okay, WA7DIA. Anyone else, over? Okay, W1GTX. Also in here. Anyone else? Well, looks like that's a pretty good start this morning. Okay, the first round will be KD4UMR, W2SDR, W3MMR, K4FNY, N8ULN, KD3HT, WA7DIA, and W1GTX, and back to net control. KD4UMU, W3PWW, the old military radio net. Go ahead.
All right. Good morning to you, Ted, and good morning to the rest of the gang here on the old military radio net. And by the way, actually hearing everybody quite nicely down here in Shepherdsville, Kentucky this morning. So signals are coming through pretty good. Band still, I guess, fairly long. You guys are still having a little difficult time stopping each other up there. But anyway, running 54 degrees down here in Shepherdsville. Looks like, man, cooler temperatures are very nice. So really enjoying that. So anyway, going to head out this morning to Bowling Green, Kentucky down there. Call it the Vet City Ham Fest going on. So we'll go down and look at some ham radio gear today, and also slip over to the Corvette Museum and check a few things out. I'm going to take my brother-in-law down with me, WD4LAM, and he has not been down to the Corvette Museum since the big gaping hole in the floor ate several Corvettes there, but they do have those Corvettes on display on the edge of where the hole was, and you can see what damage and destruction several tons of rock does to a Corvette. So a lot of parts are exposed and flattened on those cars. So we'll go down and see what we have set up down there. Anyway, Ted, that's all we have on this end. Putting on the Flex 3000 Commander amplifier out to the folded dipole. Standard AM setup on this end that we normally use. And we did bring up the Viking back yesterday with the HQ150 receiver, and it worked just like it's supposed to. So anyway, with that, good morning to you. Put me down as one and done. We've got to get up and get ready to get out the door for Bowling Green here. So anyway, W2S You're up next. Good morning, KD4UMU.
Okay, KD4UMU in the old military radio net, W2SDR. And good morning, everybody. I don't know if Ted could hear me or not, but I was copied Ted Q5 on Steve QIX's WebSDR. So, but I could hear you maybe Cat 3 direct. Anyway, good morning to everybody. To Perry once again, to Steve, Jim, Charlie, Dan, 7-3. Have a great time at the Corvette Museum. I remember reading about that with the hole. It's hard to believe they still have the hole there with the that were damaged and everything, just like that. I guess it's pretty cool. Yeah, some of the guys I didn't hear you anymore, Steve or Jim. I haven't talked to you guys in a long, long time. Say good morning to Charlie. Charlie, I've got a real good signal on you. Steve, Jim, everybody. I'm hearing good except the guys that are real close in, like Perry and I guess Ted's still on the borderline. So this will be my one and out. I'll say 7-3 all the way around. And I'm going to turn it to Perry. I'm pretty sure that Perry gets it at this point. I didn't have Ted in right away with the WebSDR, so I'm going to turn it to Perry. If that's a mistake, I apologize. W3MMR in the old military radio net, W2SDR.
W3MMR, or excuse me, W2SDR in the old military radio net, W3MMR. Well, good morning to you, Pop. Sounding good over this way this morning. Well, excuse me, well, through the QIX WebSDR as well. You're right on the borderline. Here at the QTH. We are only 35 air miles or so away, so we're just on the borderline there. But with the advent of WebSDR, it makes things a lot easier. Ted, I can make out probably 75% of what you're saying here at the QTH, but yet again, I'm listening to you on the WebSDR, and everyone else, Charlie and Dan and the rest of the group here is Q5 at the QTH. Have fun at the Corvette Museum in the Hamfest today, Dan. Sounds like a good time. Yes, I remember what happened. I remember seeing the security cam footage when that hole opened up and then Corvettes went down into the abyss. That was a shame. There's a lot of nice cars that got swallowed up right there, but I think that's pretty cool. They still have it all opened up there and have all the damaged Corvettes on display. That would be a sight to see. I'd be really interested to see something like that. That'd be pretty cool. But anyway, we'll keep things moving along here. This is not my one and done. I'm gonna stick around for a while. And just sit back, sip on the mud here. 46 degrees here in Chester, Pennsylvania this morning, 7 miles southwest of Philadelphia. Just on the Anon 200D SDR transceiver this morning, the ADB. Amplifier running about 175 watts of carrier into a 125-foot, 600-ohm ladder line fed doublet. And 65 feet or so. Over to you, Charlie. Good morning. Good signal up this way. K4FNY in the old military radio net. This is W3MMR.
W3MMR in the old military net. K4FNY. Good morning. It's 74 degrees here. We've got a lot of static because there's some front coming through. And it's got some static, little storms, thunderstorms with it. So we're hearing that too. In addition to everybody else on the net, good morning to everyone. My name is Charlie here. We're running a BC610i and 614 speech amp with a Hamlin HQ150 receiver into a homebrew tuner and inverted L an antenna. So custom wireless for trying to settle down for the fall. It's kind of late coming. It's been awful hot here the whole month of September, and yesterday was 96. It's 65. It's pretty doggone warm. So it's supposed to cool down a great deal over this weekend. So hopefully we're going to make it through here. Let's see, NAULN. Jim, go ahead. You're next. This is K4FNY. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, Charlie. K4FNY in the old military radio net. This is NAULN, Jim in Worcester. And we're running the Collins 32V2 transmitter here this morning, listening on an R388. Hearing everybody fairly well. Frank, I don't know if, I think we've talked before. He's talking to Dad all the time there. And I know you said you were getting around this sort of thing. Let's see. Well, what's new? Back last month, about the middle of the month, was Family Hamfest, and it was pretty good. There was actually some military gear there. I bought a pretty nice R390. Paid a little bit for it. It works pretty good. I had it on in the other room and was listening while I was working on a couple things, and I was listening to the broadcast band with it and all around, and it seems to work pretty good. It's one that all it takes is a little bit of cleaning up. But I got the receiver, a manual, a speaker, a matching transformer, and a manual for a 390A, all in one big box there, kind of. And I wonder if any of you guys saw anything about the Collins Foundation B-17 that crashed a couple days ago. I flew on that airplane. Oh, it's been a few years ago. And I was kind of hoping that it was going to come around so I could take a ride on it again, but I did not. Not now, anyway. I guess the Experimental Aircraft Association may have a B-17 they call aluminum overcast, and that was going around the circuits, giving rides and all that, but I don't know if they'll change their policies any on account of the crash of that other one. That was too bad. And I did fly on the Ford Tri-Motor. One of those came around here last month also, so I went for a ride on that. I flew in it last year, too. That's kind of a noisy ride. I don't know if anybody's ever flown in a Ford Tri-Motor. And man, are those things noisy inside. I would hate to have to fly very far in one of those things. Man, you'd be deaf by the time you got there. You'd almost have to wear ear protection. But it was a neat little flight anyway. About 20 minutes or so, a half hour maybe. And, I've been working on my 810 transmitter that I've been building. Had a minor setback with it last weekend, but it wasn't quite as bad as I thought it was going to be. I've got a variac in the plate circuit to vary the plate voltage, and I think a little bit marginal. It's a 5-amp variac. I think I should probably get a 10-amp and put in there. But anyway, I've been working on that, and that might be on the air here another little while. So anyway, let me keep it going along here again. Like I say, I'm hearing pretty much everybody pretty well this morning. It's kind of a change from what it's been. Steve, I guess it goes to you. KD3HT in the old military radio net. This is NAULN 730, or not 730. Over to you.
Okay, Jim, NAULN in the old military radio net, KD3HT. Well, I'm hearing everybody so far, and heard everybody check in, so that's a good sign. Ted was down a little bit, but being that I heard Perry and Frank, I'm sure I'll hear Ted. Hopefully he'll me. And it's a tragedy what happened. Have to wait and see what transpires from I'm running a T368C this morning and listening on Flex, or not a Flex, but my SDR AirSpy Plus, and had a good time last week at the MRCA meet, and got to see Jack and and Ted, and lots of other people. So it was very, very nice last week. Had great weather, and looks like we're going to have a good day today, although it's starting out at 37 degrees here. I actually have a fire going in the wood stove, so keep my mother-in-law warm. And yeah, I picked up a 610, and I have that sitting in front of me here, putting it back together and take it apart to fit it in the car. So sooner or later we'll have that in place and on the air. I'm getting a little tight in here for sure. Let's see, besides that, not a whole lot going on. I did pick up some another ARR7, a nice Super Pro 100. That the Super Pro 100 was just a really good. My wife loves that term. Good deal. But beautiful shape, very clean. Does have to be gone through. But I have that in the rack here, and want to get into the AAR7s, just getting an idea what I'm going to need when I get in there. There's a lot of mica mold type of paper caps in there that are probably going to have to be replaced. So, hey, one thing at a time. But good to hear everybody today, and it's, really good to hear everybody today. I'm not sure who I was supposed to send it to. It was a little bit hard to copy Ted. I know it's either Jack or up north, but so Ted, I'm going to turn it back to you. Apologize, I wasn't able to write it down quick enough. So W3PWW and the old military radio net from KD3HT. Over.
It goes to Jack, WA7DIA. WA7DIA, go ahead.
Yeah, W3PWW on the old military radio net, WA7DIA. Good morning, Steve. Good morning. Good to see both of you at Gilbert last week. It was a fun trip. Really enjoyed it. And I always look forward to that trip every year. Me and my wife loves Sharpsburg, and we're early up there, so she loves making the trip as well. And I gotta say, it took a couple of days to recuperate from the drive, but doing pretty good now. Anyway, about 70 degrees here this morning in Warner Robin. Looks like the cold front is moving through. Should be arriving here later today, and we'll finally break the heat. We had 103 yesterday. Supposedly they were telling me on the news it was the first time in October it's been over 100 in something like 50 years or something like that. So very unusual, but it's been very hot, very warm this late in the year here in central Georgia. But they're saying it's going to turn today, and we're going to be having some real foul weather. Which means the leaves will be falling off the trees, and I've got to spend all my time raking leaves. Oh well. Anyway, running the ARC 38 this morning, a little over 100 watts in the dipole at 40 feet. And I also want to say 73 to everybody. I'm checking out. I've got some other things I got to get going on this morning, so got to get an early start on it. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, Ted. W3PWW, the old military net, W7DIA.
Okay, Jack, very good. WA7DIA, W3PWW, and the old military radio net. Very good. Yeah, great to see you up at Gilbert. Always enjoy that. And your ARC 38's doing a fine job this morning. No trouble with copy up here. The closer in stations we're having difficulty with last round. Originally they were pretty good, but they kind of dropped off a little bit. Frank there and Steve had a little difficulty copying him. But anyway, 7-3 to you, Jack, and hopefully we'll catch you next week. Next station up, WNGTX. WNGTX, go ahead. Okay, very good. W1GTX, W3PWW, the old military radio net. Very good. Powerful signal down here this morning on the ART-13. Here's the dynamotor in the background. Sounds very good. Okay, we're down to the end of the list here, and that round copy on the closer end stations was a little rough. I did not hear Frank too well, and Steve dropped off a little bit, so had some trouble there, but all the rest of the stations are Q5 copy in here this morning. Dan and Charlie and Jim especially. Okay, on your acquisition there, Jim. Good luck with that. Hope it continues to operate as it should. We have two of them here in the rack, and we pretty much use one on the phone net here and one on the CW net. So got a pair of very nice R390As. Okay, down to the end of the list. Anyone out there for the old military radio net, please call now.
This is Kilo 4 Romeo Foxtrot.
Okay, Papa W2D. Anyone else, over?
This is KK4RF.
Okay, got KK4RF. Anyone else? Okay. I guess first up we'll make W2D and then KK4RF. Marty, your signal's not quite as strong as it usually is up here, but I think I can copy it okay. So the next round will be W2D, KK4RF, then back up to KD4UMU, W3MMR, K4FNY, N8ULN, KD3HT, W1GTX, then back to W2D again. Mike, up to you. W2D, W3PWW in the net, then pass it to KK4RF.
Explosions that occur when equipment is left fallow over the summer. You never know what's going to be your surprise repair, I guess you'd call it, once you fire radios up again. And of course we do have some things that do need some repair here in the shack. My wireless Set 19 seems to have lost its drive, so we have to figure out what happened in that thing. And I picked up a Collins 18 Sierra, an 18S transmitter receiver that's still sitting on the floor. I've made no progress with that since I picked it up at Nearfest last year. So it's been going on a full year that I've had this box sitting here with nothing happening. So we've got to rectify that problem. I've been doing quite a bit of work on YouTube. And right now I'm working on a little AM broadcaster, a high-fidelity AM type broadcaster for the radio Mart type set, that go around and sell the old AM radios from the 20s, 30s, and 40s, and they want to broadcast some old-time music or something onto their sets. So I won't hog it too long here, but you can be looking for an article in Electric Radio that I put out. I owed a little bit of material to Electric Radio, so you'll see something from me coming up very soon. Let's send it down to Marty, KK4RF from WU2D.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. WU2D and the old military radio net. This is KK4RF. Mike, you've got a good signal down here. Your ART-13 sounds great. And I wanted to say good morning to the stations that I've been able to copy so far. Jim, N8ULN, great signal. Steve, KD3HT, Steve, excellent signal. I was able to copy Jack, WA7DIO, good signal, but I know he's signed off. And W1GTX, the ART-13 sounded great. Ted, I'm not copying you as well, but hopefully that will improve. And Mike, your ART-13 WU2D sounds excellent. Let's see here. We're working using the old Airmax A54H, about 10 watts out to the Heathkit SB200 linear, putting out about 100 watts of carrier. And so that's what we're operating. We're, as far as projects, we're working on an old Viking Ranger, and I'm getting about 50 watts out on it from CW. I haven't tried the modulator yet. We're trying to fix the VFO, which has some slippage in the linkage somewhere, and I'm not sure quite how to fix that. I've changed all the capacitors that need changing, and so that's a project that I hope to get on the air sometime this winter. So we'll see. And I'm also fixing up an old ARC-5 transmitter, a T19 for 80 meters, and hopefully we'll have that on CW in the next 2 weeks, and hopefully I can check into the Sunday night CW net, the old military radio net. So anyway, this is a new T19 that I picked up at a Hamfest a few weeks ago, and so hopefully that'll work pretty well too. So we got a whole bunch of projects. So at this time, I think it goes to, I believe it's KD1 UMU or KD2 UMU. I don't have the prefix correct. This is Marty in Frederick, Virginia, KK4RF.
Yeah, kind of took a fade there, so a little trouble copying that last round here. Okay, back up to the top we go. We KD4UMU, W3MMR, K4FNY, N8ULN, KD3HT, W1GTX, then W2D again, and KK4RF, winding up the next round. KD4UMU, W3PWW, Nanette, go ahead. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
W3PWW in your military radio net. Great conditions this morning. AJ1G. Just want to drop in quickly here. I'm about to get underway for Newport, Rhode Island for a Carls and Coffee cruise night on Saturday morning. It's associated with a big order celebration the Order Meal put on by the Audrain Automobile Museum over in Newport. And Melvin Jay Leno is the chairman of this whole extravaganza, so maybe I'll get to meet Jay today. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to get underway. I'm going to be in the Mobile probably next time around in the rotation. And if I can't make it on AM, I'll switch to single sideband. Well, you guys all have a great day, great conditions. Check in. I'll be listening on the Mobile and try to check in from the Mobile.
Okay, Chris, very good. Well, when you get ready to check in with the Mobile, go ahead and give us a holler. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to hear you. KD4UMU, go ahead.
I think he might have got out of there, Ted. I know you were saying he was going to a Hamfest this morning.
Okay, let's try W3MMR. W3MMR, go ahead.
W3PWW in the old military radio net, W3MMR. Well, good morning once again, Ted. And good morning to the group. I got a nice group in here this morning. It's good to hear everyone and see we get a nice group in here early with a little bit better conditions. Things have been kind of rough the past few weeks with the band being very long in the morning, and the combination of, I think, a couple solar storms have made things real hard on us. But anyway, receiving most of everyone here at the QTH, but still listening on the web SDR. Got the other rig, the DX100 on the NC303 fired up on the other side of the room, so we'll jump over that on the next round this morning. But good morning to you, Steve, KD3HT. Sounding good down this way in Chester this morning. Good morning to you, Jack. Sounding good here at the QTH as well. About 10 over. Same for you, Steve. 10 to 15 over at the QTH. W1GTX, good morning to you. You're right at my noise level, right around S9. WU2D, KK4RF, and you as well, Chris. You guys are right there at the noise, or right above the noise. I am bombarded by RFI here living in the city, and I think some power line noise that I've been going back and forth with the power company with here the last day or two, trying to get them back out here to do something about this, because it's been quite brutal dealing with this interference as of late, and I'm kind of getting sick and tired of it, to be honest with you guys. So hopefully we can get things straight. But anyway, we'll keep things moving along here. Good morning to you once again, Charlie. Here it comes. K4FNY in the old military radio net. This is W3MMR.
W3MMR in the old military net. K4FNY. I'm starting to have a little trouble with you fading away here. I was QRM, but QSB, but I did hear you turn it to me. I'm trying to turn it to but some of them are just not strong enough in here just yet. I hope your 250TH holds in there, Ted. The one that that failed on me, I had in this rig for 8 or 9 years, and it was in the final when I got the transmitter, so I don't really know any history of it. So it had a long life, and now it's boxed up, and it lost this place. That's about all it's good for. So luckily it had 2 brand new IMAX here, new old stock ones. So I put one of the IMAX in, and it seems to be running a lot better than the old 250TH did. So it was getting weak anyway. But I have no idea how long it's been in the rig or anything about its history. It's just I used it for 8 years for an hour when it did pretty well. So hopefully we'll hang in there for a while, Ted, because they're kind of rare birds, and they're kind of expensive when you can find one. But you never know if the filament is going to be open on them or not unless you put an ohm meter on it. So I hope it stays in there with you for a while longer. The 100THs are also an issue with the thing. There's no turf to frag them after they've been fired up, so that could be an issue also. Anyway, let me get it up to Jim. Jim, I'm going to go get another cup of coffee, so I'll turn the receiver up where I can hear you. I'm down my first cup. I need to go get a refill. NAULN, go ahead. This is K4FNY.
Yeah, okay, Charlie. K4FNY from NAULN and the old military radio net. Very good. Copy everybody pretty well. There's nobody that I can't copy. Master. Let's see, before I forget, the Cleveland Ham Fest a couple weeks ago, I went there, and there wasn't really a whole lot of military stuff there, but one thing I did find was the antenna tuner that goes with the ART-13. Right now, one before, but the darn thing, somebody had cut it all up, changed it around, moved parts, taken parts out. I bought what was left of it for $50, and there was like a couple of nice tuning capacitors, one coil, meters and switches, and two other, front of your drives for tuning. And at first, there was this big aluminum chassis with a couple of nice coils and everything, and I didn't realize nothing was bolted in. Everything was just sitting in there, and I thought it was part of some homebrew amplifier or something. And I was going to go over and talk to the guy about it, and as I was on my way over there, I saw somebody taking one of the coils out of it, and I guess they evidently bought it. So I missed out on that one, but I got what was left of it, like I say, for $50. And it's too bad they were working up parts rig, I guess. But like I say, I've never seen one of those before. It was kind of interesting. And yeah, cold weather here this morning. I think about 34 degrees. I ran my furnace for the first time this season today. I fired it up this morning. It's still I guess I don't have too much more radio-wise, so I'll keep it moving on here. Steve, I guess you're still there. KD3HT is the old military radio network, NAULN.
Yeah, very good, Jim. NAULN. In the old military radio net, KD3HT, is 73 to Jack, and I'm sure Dan is probably gone already, but 73 Dan. Hope you have a good time at the Ham Fest. Say hello to Carmen for me. It was good seeing you guys for a little while anyway at the event. Very good, Jim. That's cool. I'm trying to remember where. I'm pretty sure Brown has one, and I've seen him. I think my friend Steve has one. Maybe Fair Radio had one. I'm trying to say, I've seen them, but it's been a while. But very good. Well, I picked up with the 610 here. I picked up speech amp and the tuner, and I'm not going to use the tuner, but it certainly looks nice on top, although probably won't have it mounted here. Charlie, that's my fear on the tubes. I packed them very nicely for the trip home, but I don't know, 100 pH is going to keep it any good, and unfortunately, so just have what I have. So we'll make do. And something's needed down the road, we'll come up with it somewhere. But yeah, it's kind of neat. It goes down all the way. That didn't realize that the sides are actually going down into the cars. Everything's being taken apart, so fit it all in my Buick, and it really wasn't that bad. The only thing I took off one of the decks was the power transformer. Carried that separately. And cut it, I had everything else was on a barrier strip. And this is an H model.
The frequencies in use. The frequency is in use.
Well, it looks like they're back to the usual crappy 75-meter band conditions this morning. I lost Steve there. Next up is W1GTX, W2D, and KK4RF, and back to net control. W1GTX, go ahead. Roger, go ahead.
Thanks, Mike. WU2D and the old military radio net. This is KK4RF. Mike, I left triple copying you on that last transmission. The band is shifting around. The band is shifting around, and I hope you guys can still copy me right now. But just wanted to say that the BC610 project sounds like a huge project. Good luck there, and I'm sure you'll get it up and running. And let's see here. I'm still having trouble copying Ted, so he's probably not copying me too well. So anyway, I will pass it on to Dan, KD4UMU. I'm not sure if he's still in there. If not, then I guess it goes to Charlie. Oh, and Charlie's got a great signal here, K4FNY. But anyway, let me send it over to Dan, KD4UMU on the old military radio net. This is KK4RF.
Copy of W1NZR. Stand by a minute, Brown. Okay, rough copy on you, Marty. Really had a hard time that time copying you. W1GTX and Mike there, W2D, kind of were transmitting at the same time, but I did copy both of them, so got that straightened out. Okay. Here, W1NZR, stand by. Anyone else out there for your military radio net, please call now. And other stations for the net, please call now. Nothing heard. W1NZR, go ahead.
Ford transmitter with the very, very authentic sounding audio and microphone. So I hope everyone enjoys this. And Ted, you have a pretty good signal, but yes, the conditions are just really lousy. Very, very noisy here. I did copy Marty fairly well, and I heard Steve, but he was way down in the noise. So I guess we'll just have to see what happens. So I'll give it back to you, Ted, and see if you're copying. But the WRT2 is one of the. Come up. I know she's a little cranky, like other old ladies I know. And if it doesn't want to lock up and sync and then transmit, then I won't use it. If it doesn't take just a little bit of impact tuning. But she's cooperative this morning, so I figured it's time to use her. Okay, back to you, Ted. The W3PWW and the Milrad Net from W1NZR.
W3PWW, rough copy that time. So it looks like the band conditions are getting worse as the morning goes on. Don't see any daylight down here yet. 44 degrees here this morning. So a definite change in the weather from the past couple of weeks. Okay, that last round we had considerable difficulty with the closer in stations. So we're kind of back to the usual crappy conditions we have on 75 meters in the morning. Okay, next rotation of the looks like W3NMR, K4FN1, N8ULN, KD3HT, W1GTX, WUTD, KK4F, W1NZR. That's the rotation. I don't know whether I'll be able to copy them all or not. We will. W3MMR, W3PWW in the net. Go ahead.
Things are starting to change, Ted. Starting to copy Brown and Marty. Marty's pretty loud in here for me. Things are starting to change. Yeah, I'm back with my second cup of coffee here, and I've got it on the little warming plate on the bench here, and keep it warm. So, enjoying the old military net this morning. Ted, I always like to listen in on this net if I can. See if somebody's really fired up. So, for one, ULN. Go ahead, K4FNY.
Yeah, okay, Charlie. K4FNY and the old military radio net from N8ULN. Yeah, things are changing around here. Stations that I was copying pretty good on, I'm not being able to copy. I'll make this my final here. I guess I don't have a whole lot more to add to anything. It's been good hearing everybody. It's first I've checked in for a month or two, I suppose. It's been a little while. I've been sleeping in and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, good to be on again. So I'm going to go do some more radio stuff, play around with the 810 transmitter I'm building, and everybody with the ART-13s and the 610s there that we're on. I have an ART-13. I haven't used it for a long time. Also have a VC-610 that I haven't had on the air in a long time. I've been running the Collins transmitter here. Anyway, we'll get on the air with them one of these days, make sure they still work, fun to play with. So we'll see you guys later. Steve, I guess back over to you. KD3HT and the old military radio net. This is N8ULN. 7-3, guys. Catch you later.
Kilo Alpha 8 Delta, testing the audio 12312.
Yes, well, I think, sorry, I forgot to get the last one because my daughter was down. I think it was about 42 degrees this morning when I woke up. I fired up the wood stove just to give it a run so she could loosen up some of the stuff up in the liner. Yeah, I heard about the BC610. That's a nice acquisition. At some point, it is on my list to pick up so I can park it right next to the T3 here and make it look good. What was it? Yeah, there's a sad, bad thing what happened in Connecticut there with the B-17. I just saw it 2 weeks ago from my driver out at Plymouth Airport and saw them out like right when we got there. The 909 took off, so it was I guess my last time seeing that one, so too bad, tragedy, lost of life and lost of life. Alright, so for me, I'll send it over to, if you can copy, KK4RF. This is W1GTX in the old military radio net.
And I got all of Steve before KD3HT, but the band is shifting around, and I'm still having trouble copying Ted. So anyway, I just wanted to say the brand W1MZR, your WRT2 transmitter sounds good here, and I think you were saying that you thought maybe the audio wasn't good, but it sounds quite good here to me. And I was able to copy Perry. I believe that's W2MR, and Charlie's still coming in quite strong. And anyway, yeah, as far as my T19, the ARC-5 transmitter, I picked it up for $30 at the Virginia Beach Ham Fest a few weeks ago, and I'm just about ready to put it, I'm trying to build a relay back for it, and trying to, a whole bunch of things I'm trying to do to it, but it definitely puts out power. It puts out, I can get almost 70 watts out, believe it or not, if I power it with a Heathkit HP23A power supply. Now that's about 750 volts on the plates of the 1625. That's probably a little too much, but as long as I don't hold it down too long, I think it shouldn't overheat. We'll see. Anyway, I'm not sure who it goes to now. Maybe it goes to, maybe Mike was in there, WU2D. I hope I haven't misstepped here. Anyway, perhaps somebody could get it back to Ted, and he could rank the rest of it. KK4, you're off on the old virtual radio net.
Probably one of the stations I'll be able to do is Kelly down there. I'm going to turn the net for a little bit. Try again about 6:30. This TWW is closing the net temporarily. And we'll try again at 6:30 and see if we can. Anyway, this that's the little station sector, and I guess some of them hearing us, and I'm not hearing them. So I'm just going to close and W3PWW. Still listening on WWW.